Hi everybody, we're on the final week and this is week 6. This week we're going to be discussing police training. And I sent you a thing earlier in the week and having to do with what was expected at the academy and what classes would have to be taken. So let's first start with the entry-level police academy. The entry-level police academy is basic training and you're there for 24 weeks. In that time period you get many classes and they forever change. They're forever changing. Some departments require you to have a psychological before you get on. I'm thinking most departments are leaning towards that. But if you're looking to figure out what the level entry is to get in, you can always go onto mass.gov. Now remember that civil service requires police officers to go off of a list, but there's many towns that don't have civil service and they all add whatever they want to what they feel is necessary for a police officer. Well, let's talk about what's required every year. Every year a police officer has to have mandatory in-service training. I had it every single year. Every single year I had first aid and CPR, and first aid and CPR, believe it or not, changes every single year. You have legal updates for 6 hours. And I know that I've probably said this 100 times to you about what is a catchphrase. And whatever the catchphrase for that year is typically what you're going to have for legal updates. It could be anything from the use of a taser, or it could be domestic violence, or it could be, we've had in the past a thing called, well, it's verbal judo, as they call it, verbal judo, and it teaches you how to talk people down off the ledge, basically. I mean, how to calm people down. Now, that hasn't been happening in a long time, but I looked at what they required this year and I thought, okay, so we have procedures, protocols, and considerations for investigations involving animals, 3 hours. Okay, but I don't see 3 hours of domestic violence. I don't see 3 hours of communication skills. I don't see 3 hours of many things there that could clearly take that role. Police survival is hands-on tactics. That's going to be a hands-on tactics on how to either use your OC or capstone, or what some people refer to as mace, or your taser, or hands-on, or your baton. And then you have the defensive tactics classroom, and that's 6 hours. That's 9 hours of police survival. Be interesting to see what they're putting in that now, but clearly what should be in there is some communication skills. And then there's a local option that your department can do within your own department and do training. I trained for almost 35 years at the MPTC, and I trained in many different aspects of it. So I can't tell you what has changed or what's going on there, but I can tell you that every year they change what the requirements are. So you also have to do firearms. We do 8 hours in our department. Every 6 months we'll do firearms, and that's also tactics, physical tactics. So those are things that, could they be, I don't know what the catchphrase is going to be next year, but there'll be a catchphrase, and the procedures, protocols will be changed, and you'll see, the different things will be happening here. And they'll be, as I said, the classes will be determined by the MPTC, which is just a group of people. I mean, the chiefs of police have some input. The next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing our final assignment. And our final assignment, I think, is pretty exciting to do. I want you to remember this is 200 points. This is a big one. Do not send me a short paper. You have to have only do 4 to 5 pages on this. They didn't make that 6 anymore, but 4 to 5. Don't send me a short one on this because there's so much you can do here. So I want you to look at one of these cases. I want you to look at the Patty Hearst case, or the Lindbergh abduction, or the Elizabeth Smart case, or a case that you know of, that you think is interesting. You're not limited to these 3. And examine the unseen issues that may directly contribute to the perpetration of this crime. So on Elizabeth Smart, that's a fabulous case, and there's a book on that, and there's a lot of information. It's also the newest of that group there. What could we have done different there? And then provide a list of local victim resources. Now, to look this up, again, I'm going to tell you, just do this. And see where it says in your own community? You're going to right-click it, and then you're going to look for search Google, but put your own community. Put Hampden County, put Massachusetts. Look to see what you have available to you. You'd be surprised how little you don't have, but you'd be also surprised to see what is out there. And describe how a victim advocate could assist the victim through the criminal justice system. Knowledge is power. Very often people don't know the steps, and so when they don't know the steps, they become very angry. And this is anything in life. I have a friend who's in the hospital now with COVID. She's very angry at the hospital because now her blood pressure is high. But she didn't ask the doctor why she has high blood pressure, and she didn't ask the doctor why she has diabetes now. And she's on a lot of medication. So her daughter was saying how angry she is with this. And I said, well, did she ask the doctor why? Because steroids have a really adverse effect, but the good part about steroids is they keep you alive. So, she didn't have the knowledge to sit there and look at it and say, if somebody had just sat there and said, we're going to give you these and it's going to have some bad side effects, but the outcome is going to be better. If she had that knowledge, she maybe not be so angry. So on that note, in life, I think the more you know, the better you are. And I think that we need more victim advocates out there. And anytime you're in any situation, always ask. Always ask. I wish you all a great holiday. I hope that 2021 is better for all of us. I must have your papers on time because I have to turn in my grades early. So if you have any questions or any problems, call me. You know how to get a hold of me. Send me a text, send me an email. I wish you the best. Bye-bye.